Yo guys, can everyone hear me all right? Audio doing okay? Just move this here. I'm gonna move this here and this here. What's up? What's up? Please work. Nice. How's everyone doing, man? Audio okay? Cool. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Audio is a little lower. I'm good. I'm good. What's up to everyone in the chat? Hope everyone had a good weekend. What's up, people on Twitch as well? I'm still kind of looking like a ghost. I gotta figure out. My my audio is a little low. Hold on. What if I do this? Is that better? Better now? Better? I'll just talk louder, guys. Okay, so hope everyone is doing good. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Yeah, we're finally getting a little bit of a pullback, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. So what we're going to do in this video is focus on Ethereum and Bitcoin. What are the potential trade setups that we can see this week, both on the long and on the short side? How can we get involved in some trades? And we'll go from there. We'll test the sound effects. Hold on. Is ape season back on? Is ape season back on? That's bear. We don't like bears. I think you guys just have to turn up your volume because my volume slider thing says that I'm talking quite loudly. So your voice is too low. What the fuck? Can never get anything right with this fucking stuff, man. I swear to God. I don't know. We're gonna have to deal with it, boys. I have the volume maxed out and the mic is right next to my fucking head. So I cannot talk any louder than this. Okay. I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, guys, because we got to get going here. We don't got time. We don't got time. Sound effects are loud. The mic is not loud enough. Is the general consensus I'm getting here. What if I do this and I do this? Does that change anything? Anything better? What about this? Is that better? It's right next to my fucking head. I think it's good enough, guys. Turn up the volume on your computer. We should be fine. Okay, so we are going to. Why do I always have issues with my stream? Because I'm old and I don't know how to fucking use technology very well. That's why. So if someone is an expert streamer and they want to help me get my shit together, please do let me know. Okay, so shout out to the homies at Bybit as usual for sponsoring the video. So we are still running the bonus cash promotion. They've actually upped it to $1,000. So if you want some free money from the team over at Bybit, all the info will be in the link description of this video. You click it. It's got all of the terms and conditions, all the things you need to do to get up to $1,000 free cash. And you can use that cash to go buy, a neck or something, or a neck of punk or something. You can't buy this neck. This is just genetic, guys. You can't buy this. This is genetics. But you need to click that link in the description to help me out to keep things rolling here. So shout out to the team at Bybit. How'd everyone like my altcoin video? Did you guys enjoy that? I had a lot of fun making that, and that's going to be a new series that I'm starting. So I'm going to be doing at least 1 to 2 of those videos a week. They're not going to be as fancy every time where I have a ton of editing and stuff, but I do want to step up the production quality of the streams, and that was kind of like one of my first forays into the world of a pre-edited video, where you guys can see some cool memes and some edits, and it's just a little bit smoother and shorter too. I mean, I don't expect them all to be 20 minutes, but I hopefully you guys like that video. It's doing pretty well. It's got almost 4,000 views already, which is great, so I'm stoked about that. And we're going to just keep on keeping on, man. So this video is going to be primarily focused on Ethereum and BTC. Those other videos that I'm going to be doing are going to be focused on altcoins. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, what you need to do is wait for me to make a post about those alts, and then that's going to be your opportunity to get me to look at some altcoins that you guys want to see covered, because every time I do one of these videos I get 1,000 requests for alts, and there's just not enough time for me to get to them all. So that's what those videos will be. If you have questions about alts, every week I will do a video, I'll make a post, you let me know what altcoins you want to see covered, and we'll go at it. So with that being said, we're going to focus on Bitcoin here. We're going to focus on Ethereum. Obviously, we've had some continued bullishness, and now we're showing our first potential signs of a pullback here, coming into the, the highs of the range. So what we're going to do is give you guys a couple of potential trade ideas that I see in terms of both longs and shorts for early in this week to get involved into some Bitcoin or Ethereum longs. And then if we have some time at the end, I can do a quick Q&A, quick chart request, something like that. I'm also going to be bringing back the trading gaming streams, because they seems to be something that people enjoy, where I'm just live streaming myself in a trade with my live thoughts while gaming. So I'll be doing that as well. All right, so we're gonna start with Bitcoin here. If you guys wouldn't mind giving this video a like, retweeting the link so your friends and family and whoever else follows you on Twitter can see it, leave comments, that kind of thing. I really appreciate it. I'm really gonna try and step up this YouTube grind. Now that they've taken down BitBoy, he got sliced off of the internet. That means there's room at the top of the crypto YouTube pyramid, and I think I belong there. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think I belong where BitBoy was. I'm way less fat, I'm way less cringy, I'm way funnier, and I'm not a scamming piece of shit. So hopefully we can take over. I think he has about 1 million subs, so that's only 100x from where I am. We can totally get there. Okay, guys. So with Bitcoin here, we've been trading within this range for effectively almost 3 months. We had this big fake out at the range low here, and then we've now moved to the other side of the range. So for anyone who wants to know how to trade these ranges, how do I mark the ranges, how do I look for setups within the ranges, you need to go back and watch some of my previous streams, because in my previous streams I go way into detail about how I draw up these ranges and how I look for trades within the range. And generally, the rule of thumb, not just the thumb, but of thumb, with these ranges is when you trade to one side of the range and you get some sort of deviation or some sort of fake out, you then target the other side of the range. First, you target the midpoint, and then you target the other side. So here's an example where it went from boom, targeted the midpoint, little consolidation, bang to the range low. Deviate the range low. This time it didn't make it past the midpoint. Rejected the midpoint. Where do we target? Back to the range low. Big deviation out of the range low. Target 1 is the midpoint. Target 2 is the range high. And that's all that has happened here over the last couple of months. And there's been several trades that we've taken that have worked out beautifully. I did really well here. Caught a couple shorts here, but I missed this long. This was right when I was getting back from my trip. And I just about to sneeze. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I got fudded out. By the way that the market was looking, and that happens. And I like to try and keep it as real with you guys as possible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not on here telling you that I catch every single trade. And that's one of the biggest things that I try and preach on my Twitter, and I absolutely try and preach on YouTube, is Twitter is the highlight reel, right? Twitter is the highlight reel of people's trading. It's just like Instagram is the highlight reel of someone's life. You go see some person on Instagram, you're like, what the fuck? Every day they're at a new beach, they're doing some cool hike, they're hanging out with people, they're partying, blah, blah, blah. What you don't realize is that was like, a couple nights in the month, and the rest of the time they're, sitting at their day job or doing whatever, right? All you're seeing is the highlight reel. And the majority of people that you're going to follow on Twitter, it's going to operate the exact same way. Most of them, there obviously are exceptions to the rule, but most of them are just posting all the stuff that they do that works. They're never posting that they got stopped out. They're never posting that they missed a trade. They're never posting that they were completely wrong. Because that's not gonna get you. That's not gonna get you the engagement. That's not gonna get you the likes. That's not gonna get you that clout that you so desperately want. And I don't give a shit about that stuff. Like, I feel like I've built my following for the most part by being an educational resource. Obviously, I post trades and analysis and shit like that, but my brand is about helping you guys become self-sufficient traders. That is the end goal here. Whether it's full-time, part-time, just teach you the tools where you can make decisions yourself. And you don't need me, you don't need Twitter, you don't need any of that shit. So I will be very real with you when I get shit wrong, because that is a reality of trading that I think a lot of people don't get from Instagram, from YouTube, from Twitter. You don't realize that you're going to lose the majority. Especially early on, you're going to lose a shitload of trades. You're going to lose a lot of your trades. You can be profitable being right less than 50% of the time. So if you take a 10 trade sample, if you get, let's actually do 100 trades, sorry. So if you take 100 trades, each trade was a two reward to one risk. If you take 100 trades and you get 33 of those trades correct, so that's a third, not even half, a third, you will break even. Okay? You will break even. So what people don't realize, because they're not actual traders, they're just fucking chart artists and fucking little clout goblins on Twitter, they don't understand the math behind trading. And that's why you hear people like me and other people on Twitter who actually have been doing this a long time. It's a numbers game. Trading is very much like gambling, except for you have an edge that you don't quite have when you're gambling. But that's why there's a lot of pro poker players in trading, because they know it's very similar. There's certain hands that you play certain ways. You have very tight risk rules. There's certain hands you fold every time, certain hands you shove on. It's very, very similar, except for in gambling, not so much poker, but in like blackjack, you can play perfectly and you still don't have a 50-50 shot. In trading, if you know what you're doing, you can actually develop an edge that gives you an advantage. And then when you combine that edge with the math, with the statistics, this is why a lot of us talk about journaling and things like that, you realize that, okay, if I only need to get 33 out of 100 trades right to break even at 2-to-1. So if I bump that up to 40, right? So a very marginal increase. I'm now getting 40 of my trades out of 100 right, each one being a 2-to-1. You're now a profitable trader. Well, what happens if you bump this up to 3-to-1? Now you're aiming for 3-to-1s only. it's an even smaller number. It's like 20 something. I don't remember the exact number that you need to get right just to break even. So now all of a sudden you're doing 33 out of 100, but you're aiming at 3 to 1. You're profitable. So that's a reality of trading that I think people don't understand, and that I want you guys to understand. That me, as someone who's been doing this for a long time, like, I miss trades all the time. I get shit dead wrong all the time because I don't care. I understand, and of course I like being right on Twitter. I like getting likes, and I like being like, hey, check out this fucking retweet of mine where I fucking nailed it, right? But like, unless you actually took action on it and made the trade, that Twitter clout does nothing for you, right? So I had no problem admitting that I missed this trade. Would I have liked to have been gig along here? Like, of course. Like, fuck, of course. Right? Do I own spot Bitcoin from this dump here? Yeah, if you guys remember way back here, I talked about longing down here and buying some spot. So I'm not completely sidelined on the market, but I missed the majority of this first leg on both Ethereum and BTC, and I got involved later. And that's okay, right? Because I've talked about this before. If I can get a 3 to 1 trade from here to here, but you longed here, and you're still holding here, but your risk was still 3 to 1, it's the same, right? So from a trading perspective, all that matters is there volatility, and can I go in there and get a 2 to 1, 3 to 1, whatever it is, trade in that given range of price? That's all that I really care about. Up, down, price of the asset doesn't matter. Of course, if you're buying Bitcoin because the bottom is in and we're going to 150K in November, of course, buying down here is ideal. But if we're going to 150K in November, I don't mind buying up here and missing the first bit of the trade, right? Like, if I can get the meat of the move, that's all that really matters from like an investment and a longer term perspective. You just need the meat of the move. You didn't need to buy 3K and sell 60. If you bought it at 6 and sold at 50, I think you crushed the last bull run, right? So same goes here. All we care about now is there's volatility. Let's take some fucking trades. We missed this one. Guess what? Let's look for a new one. Simple as that, right? So, just don't be so hard on yourself about missing moves. Like, I know a lot of people right now, you're going to have this feeling of FOMO, right? Because everyone is like, oh my God, I'm gig along from the bottom. Everyone is buying punks. Everyone is flexing their ETH entries. Everyone's flexing P&Ls and shit. And you are then going to be focused on what everyone else is doing rather than what you're doing, right? And it's going to fuck your shit up. You have to be, you in the charts got to be one. You got to cut out all of that noise, because there is no benefit to you to being on Twitter and then looking at what other people are doing. It's going to make you feel shitty about what you're doing. It's no different than if you wake up first thing in the morning and you go on Dan Bilzerian's Instagram and it's just him and a bunch of hot girls like on a fucking yacht, like smoking weed in like the tropics somewhere, and you're like getting ready for work. How is that a good way to start your day, right? It's not. It's a terrible way. You're going to think everything in your day sucks now. So you need to start your day and focus your energy on stuff that's within your control. You need to stop focusing on what other people are doing and being like, I want that shit. Focus on the process and you will get whatever you want, I promise. Okay, so motivational speech is done. This guy's saying he didn't ape at the bottom because of me. You didn't ape at the bottom, Elijah, because of you, bro. I didn't do anything. I didn't tell you to not buy. I didn't tell you not sell. I posted what I think. What you do is up to you. I hate that kind of comment, man. That's such BS. It's not like at the end. That's the other problem with Twitter, right? Is if you're on Twitter and Rookie tweets something and it works out, you're like, oh my God, Rookie's the man. I'm just using Rookie as an example because he's my homie. Let's say Rookie tweets something and it doesn't work out. Then you're going to be like, oh, fucking Rookie got that wrong. Look at Kaleo, right? When everything was pumping, everyone's like, fucking Kaleo's the man. And then all of a sudden stuff goes down and a few of his ideas don't work out and everyone's trying to hate on him. Because people want to play the victim. They don't want to take responsibility for their own decisions. No one made you do anything. No one made you do anything, man. That's up to you. What you do is up to you. Everything in your life at the end of the day is a result of your own decisions, not decisions anyone else makes. So as soon as you get that through your head, you're gonna stop being the victim. Your life's gonna be a lot better because you can't just be shifting the blame. How are you gonna improve if anything that goes wrong is not your fault? You know what I mean? So, okay, no more motivational bullshit. I know you guys don't love this. Unless you do. I don't know. Sometimes I just go on these rants and I just be chatting because I'm 31 now. I'm basically the grandfather of CT at this point. It's like me and fucking Ledger, and Gainsey, the oldest dudes on the internet. Okay, so where are we on Bitcoin? Trading at the range high, okay? And we're seeing our first sign of a potential pullback in the cards here. So if I were to pull up the RSI, I imagine we would see some sort of bearish divergence forming here if I had to guess. Let's do it anyways, just for shits and giggles, because I know some of the homies like their RSI. So this is the 12-hour chart. And as you can see, we have a bearish divergence forming here on the 12-hour chart. Does that mean that we are going to dump back to 30? No. Anytime you use indicators like this, they're just confluence for price action for me. If this lines up with what I'm seeing from a price action perspective, great. Is a bearish divergence enough for me to get a trigger on? No. The reason why is we had a bearish divergence up here and we went like $10,000 higher, right? So if you're shorting this bearish divergence on the way up, you're getting dinged, right? But when a bearish divergence forms on a high time frame, near a high time frame level of resistance, that could be something to pay attention to, and another little tool, right, in the tool belt that you can watch, right? So I'm going to get rid of this here. So what am I seeing on Bitcoin here? So what I'm seeing is super bullish market structure has formed, obviously, since this deviation below the range low. So if you guys remember my stream from a couple weeks ago, I effectively wanted to see this low and maybe this one get run and then a reclaim to get long. And we got the run, but it just wasn't clean. Like I wanted to kind of get in on like a little breaker play and I just didn't, right? But it did play out. You had the up move that caused the run, reclaim it. That was my long signal that I missed out on, okay? So just on the 12-hour chart, you can see it. This is the candle, that is the breaker, right? So once we had this breaker form, which pushed price down and it took out a key low, and then it pushed back up through and started consolidating, this was your trigger to get long Bitcoin here, right? But I unfortunately missed it. I was hoping to maybe get long a little bit closer to the range low, a little bit of a deeper pullback. It wasn't meant to be. I wasn't fully locked in. I'd just gotten back from my trip. I missed the trade, right? It is what it is. But now my bias had to shift to longs because what we had here is a clear fake out below the range low and a quick reclaim, and then boom, what do we have here? We have bullish market structure now on the H12. Now you could wait until this is here, like you can wait until one of those clears. I saw a lot of people being like, oh, market structure hasn't shifted yet. Here's how I view market structure, right? If we're in a downtrend like this, this is what I'm gonna do. This is gonna get real fancy for you. If we're in a downtrend like this, okay, this is essentially what happened. And we had a bunch of people, this is your range low. We had a bunch of people saying, when has market structure shifted? Is it this high? Is it this high? Is it the one up here? We had people waiting. You get to decide what market structure levels are relevant for you. As long as you're consistent with the application of your rules, that's all that really matters. And so for me, the market structure level of interest was this one here. Why? Because this is the swing high that generated the most recent low. So when that high gets reclaimed, I'm now looking to long pullbacks to run these highs because now I have a low, a high, and I'm looking for that higher low, okay? And that's exactly what we saw here, right? We have all of these lower highs and lower lows. This is the most recent swing high that generated the low. So once we flip this, which was also confluent with that little breaker right here, that is my signal that the 12-hour is now flipped bullish. So what does that mean? That means I want to be looking for longs. The 12-hour didn't give you any long signals here. I mean, you could, other than this one, right, the breaker, it's really hard to long these 12-hour candles because they're just straight green. You could have longed here, I guess, right? This is kind of like a pullback into this previous support, right? You could have longed as soon as we got through the quarterly open, but really the first 12-hour long signal was way up here, right? There's your order block, break in market structure, there's your pullback, there's your extension. And right there is a 3R trade, if I had to eyeball it, or pretty damn close. Two and a half R. So that stop is below the order block, entry on the pullback. Let's say you don't even get that sick of an entry. Let's say you enter right at the edge of the order block. Still a 2R trade. That's the first 12-hour signal that was there, right? And if you use your fib, it gives you everything that you need here as well, right? Came in, tested the 50, confluent with the OB, and then if we get our extensions on here, where is the... It's upside down. You son of a bitch. No. What am I doing wrong here? There it is. So it came back, tested the 50, right? It gave you the 1-to-1, and then it gave you the 1.27. All that is just based on the 12-hour, right? So none of that is based on any sort of low time frame entries that you could have sniped along the way. But the point I'm trying to make here, right, is this is when you knew to flip bullish, right here. So this is what day of the week is this? July 23rd on. I think your bias should have been longs. And I posted this too. I didn't long this, but if you go back on Twitter, I said, hey, once we close through here, I said target the quarterly open and mid-range, right? Then target the range high. So I had the bias right. I just didn't get in any trades, right? And that's okay. You're not going to catch every move. I did manage to get in a long from here to here. But I didn't get in any longs up here because once we start come up to the resistance, I wanted to let price kind of consolidate a little bit, give me a little bit of a clearer picture of what might be happening. So now we've ran the low and we're now running the high. Now, the question is, are we going to do this? I don't think so. Could we come all the way back down here and continue the crab? Absolutely. Anything is possible. And I wouldn't be surprised. But the reason I don't think we're going to come all the way back down to 30K here is because we've had this run of the high, right? Then we had this run of the low. Then we had another run of the low here. I would be very surprised if this move is just a deviation to take us all the way back down into the range, right? So what I think is much more likely is two scenarios here for Bitcoin. Okay, we have a key high right over here. I'll show you where that comes from. Okay, this is the monthly high for the month of July. So I'm gonna just mark that on our chart here. Okay, we're gonna zoom back in. Key high here, right? So I think this is your bias level. I think if we start getting back above this and consolidating, I'm looking to long into here and I'm looking to long into here. Okay? Which is effectively just keeping up with this steep ascent, right? And then maybe we'll have some sort of flip over here. Because I do think that we will get, I don't think we just go straight to 50. Like this floor, I think is going to be resistance as well. I might even like that level better. But those are going to be, that's going to be kind of the reason for me to get long. So I want us to hold the range high here, which is where we're at right now. I do not want to see us break this. This is the swing low that formed the most recent swing high. So if we're uber bullish, there's kind of two scenarios that I'm seeing, right? Which is either basically we come in here and it's happening as we speak, right? So here's your 12-hour range, that high, this low. We come into this 12-hour order block and we get a long trigger, get above July's high, and then I'm here and then I'm up into here, okay? Now, what is the bearish scenario? I don't even think this is super bearish. More so, we have our 12-hour range here still. I'm gonna start using lines. We have our 12-hour range here, right? If we break below this range, because this order block has been tested here, right? So this order block now needs to hold for the bulls. So if we come down here, right, and then break below this, I'm now looking for us to get long back towards the mid-range and the quarterly open, okay? That would be the bearish scenario or the buy the dip scenario. I would be very surprised. And I drew this on Twitter like a week ago and I posted it. I said, give me something like this. That's effectively what I've just shown you here, right? Break down, freak everyone out, make everyone start calling for 20K again, hit 34, 35K, long the fuck out of Bitcoin, whatever else, Ethereum, the alts you want to get long, and fucking send it back up. And I think it would be an aggressive move back up towards, 45 to 48. Okay, so those are the three long ideas that I'm looking for Bitcoin. Basically, testing this order block now. Let's find some bullishness, break out, flipping July's high. So if we just come up here, put in some bullish market structure, that would be a long trigger for me. And then lastly, if this is going to pull back a bit because of that bearish divergence, the resistance that we have up here, I would love to get in a long somewhere down here like this, because this is quite a steep move, right? And we could see, a bit of a pullback before continuation, which is totally fine. It's not a bad thing if we see a bit of a pullback. It's actually going to be a great buying opportunity because I think everyone will be scared. So if you pull your fib, right in line with those areas that I'm talking about. So the mid-range is about 35 or 36. The quarterly open is about 35. So that puts us right around the 50. A really deep pullback would be down here. I would be buying this. So if we break this little mini trend line here, right, sell off below this low, I think you could probably get in a short. But these would be kind of where I'd target because I'm looking to flip long like this. All right. So if you're a bear up here and you want to short, what is the setup? Well, the setup right now for the bears is this 12-hour swing failure pattern. So we have this 12-hour swing failure pattern here that's played out, okay? Broke, closed below. So that's effectively your risk, right? So any sort of short setup that you're looking for here intraday, if you're a scalper or if you're banking on this breaking down, right? You can either wait for some sort of move up to short, or if this trend line breaks down, right? And then consequently this swing low, that would be your short trigger. Stop is up there. That's the loose stop. If you want to get more aggressive with it, you need to see something happen first. So if we come down here, we do this, like that, then you could have a tighter stop like that, right? But for now, your risk is here. Because if we get above here, which is confluent with that July high as well, I think your idea is wrong and we go up more. Right? So that's kind of the levels that I'm paying attention to right now. This is my little 12-hour range here, Right now, the range is bullish. We do have a high time frame div potentially playing out. So if we see something bullish in here, it might be worth a long. But otherwise, I'm going to have to wait and see. I'm going to have to wait and see if it gives me a short setup or if it gives me a long setup like I described, right? So give me something bullish down here, come back up here, flip that key level. Otherwise, I'm hoping that I get some nice big dip, right, to long closer to here within this range. And then obviously, give me some sort of trigger, whatever it may be. And then we ride this one back up into the highs. Okay? So I hope that is pretty clear and that makes sense to everyone, because I've given you a few ways that you can get involved and why I would be interested. If you want to zoom in on the low time frame, to me, the ideal short was actually the run, right? It was the run on the high. Boom. So, I mean, there's your risk, right? So if we get some sort of consolidation, a swing failure pattern or something, and then a break back down, you could probably short like that. I don't know if it comes all the way back up there. Maybe it does. Like maybe we get, some sort of push. Oops. Maybe we get some sort of push up into here above these highs, right? And if it breaks back down below, now you have a tighter risk. But for right now, the bears got a very clear invalidation. It's right there. That's where the bears are wrong for now. There's that key level, right? So if we come back up here, we consolidate, put in bullish market structure, I think bears get blown the fuck out. All right, so I'm going to take a quick look at the chat here and just get caught up on that. So let me just do that real quick. Hopefully that makes sense. Please do let me know in the chat if what I'm saying makes sense, guys. All right. I'm just reading up all this stuff here, guys, and I'll answer as many of the questions as I can. There's a bunch. Okay, it sounds like everyone is understanding what I'm saying. A lot of these questions, guys, are very, very specific, but I will do my best to answer them. So, a few of the questions that I'm seeing, what is the breaker, right? That's what everyone's asking. If you go on my Twitter and you type in hashtag TM, like Trader Mayne, hashtag TM TA tips, hashtag TM TA tips. I made an infographic using a chart and using a bunch of writing on it, explaining what a bullish breaker is, what a bearish breaker is, what a bullish order block is, what a bearish order block is. Most of the paid PA focused groups used to all be in my free Discord, and they all would copy that infographic and share it and shit. I did not invent this stuff, so it's okay that they use it. It's not mine. I learned that stuff from ICT, but that's going to be the best explanation you can get. go check out those infographics. Also join my free Discord, completely free, costs you nothing. There's an education section where I have a whole bunch of write-ups and examples of breakers and order blocks and things like that. The problem that most people have is they're just looking for order blocks everywhere. The key first is to identify your key levels of interest. Once you have your key levels of interest, then finding the order blocks and the breakers, which are used for your entries, becomes easier. You don't just want to mark a random thing and be like, this is an order block, right? I mean, this ended up being a very nice SR flip here, right? But why is it relevant? Well, it's near the range high. Why is this breaker better than, why is this order block not hold price here, right? Well, it's in the middle of nowhere. This one, key level was run, reclaimed. That's why it's relevant. So I suggest you guys go check out that stuff. Check out ICT. He's got tons of free stuff on YouTube as well, but that's where I learned this shit. That's where most of the people who trade PA on Twitter learned. They either found ICT on their own or they found him through me, and they learned some of the stuff through me, through guys like Trader SZ. We're price action traders. These are price action concepts. Before you need to worry about breakers and order blocks and all that shit, first learn how to mark up the chart and find key levels. Once you find key levels, then you can use breakers and all of that kind of shit to get dialed in and look for setups and look for entries. Okay, Trader Mayne, so TM, literally the letter T, the letter M, letter T again, the letter A, the word tips. Hashtag TMTA tips on my Twitter. Okay. But yeah, you guys first need to figure out how to mark up key levels and then worry about your entry techniques. If you don't know how to find key levels, entry techniques are useless. Finding like a bullish SFP when the trend is bearish and we're near resistance isn't going to do you very good, right? I had another question about SFPs. What do I think about SFPs? What do I think about the weekly forming in SFP? I definitely think it's something you want to watch. You want to focus on SFPs in the direction of the trend. I talked about this in my last video. If we are in an uptrend, right? A bullish SFP is going to have a higher likelihood of playing out. If we're in an uptrend, right? And price does a bearish SFP, it might give you a little bit of a pullback, but if the overall trend is up, you're not going to get the desired result. You want to focus SFPs, order blocks, breakers, everything that you use in your trading as ways to enter. An SFP is something that I use to look for potential trend shifts or trend continuation, but it's a pattern I'm looking for generally into how to enter a trade. Everything you want to do has to be in line with the trend. If the trend is up and we hit a support level, you want to look at bullish setups that you know. You don't want to be looking for bearish setups. If we have a support level here, right, and the macro trend is up, right, the intermediary trend is down, but you got to remember we're in a macro time frame uptrend at this support level. I don't want to be looking for bearish SFPs. I want to be looking for bullish ones or bullish setups, maybe an over under, right? Some shit like that. So you have to first understand trend and key levels before you worry too much about actual entries and shit like that. Entries are obviously important. You need to know how to get in, where's your entry, where's your stop, where's your take profit, but you need to first learn how to mark up the charts. And I feel like that's something a lot of people are missing. Where these context is everything, and SFP means nothing, doesn't mean nothing, but it's a whole lot more relevant if it's at a key level, if a key level has been run, shit like that. Okay? Do I believe in moving averages? I believe in them. I know what they are. I know how they work. It's just not something I use. I don't need the moving average to tell me that the short-term trend is up, right? You'll have the 10, you'll have the 20 like this, but then we have the 200 like this, And everyone's like, oh, well, we're below the 200, but we're above the 50 and blah, blah. I know that the high time frame moving average is bearish right now still, because over the last 200 periods, right, the trend is still very much down. So as much as this is a nice move, the trend on the high time frame is very much down. Some people use it as dynamic support and resistance, and they say, okay, well, the 200 MA is here, right, and the 50 MA is here. Maybe we'll trade back into here before going up, because for the 200 daily moving average or period moving average to flip bullish, it's super slow, right? It lags price. The lower the number of periods in the moving average, right, the more reflexive it is to price. Let me see if I can show you guys an example here. So we'll throw on a couple MAs. Okay, so we'll do a 10. We'll do a 50. Right? And we'll do a 200. Right? So as you can see, the 10 is tracking price very slowly, because this is just a calculation of the last 10 data points. Excuse me. Whereas the 50 is the last 50 data points. The 200 is the last 200. So what you can do generally is you can use moving averages to get an idea of what the trend looks like, but they can oftentimes be lagging, right? Look at how far down we were before price broke through the 200 moving average, right? We were already way down here, and this thing just started curving to the downside, right? Whereas the 10, right, was right away. The 50 was a little slower. And same thing here, right? The 10 started getting bullish way back here. The 50 is just now curling up. So if I was a moving average trader, I would say, okay, we're coming into the 200, right? If we get a pullback here, maybe the 50 comes up to here and acts as support, right? And then if we go up, the 200, see how it was steeply going down and it's kind of flattening out? Maybe that's what we need for that thing to curl back up. Then you can talk about crosses on the moving averages. You know, are they stacking, like moving away from each other, which would indicate a very strong trend? Are they converging, which means the trend is getting tighter, like you can see here? Stacking is happening here, right? Are they crossing over each other, right? So when the 10 crossed over the 50, that would technically be bearish. So like I know how they work, but it's not part of my edge. It's not something that I use in my trading. I don't need it to visualize trend. I just look at swing highs and swing lows on various time frames, and I denote the trend that way. So that's just how I do it. I do believe that moving averages work. It's just not something that I personally use in my trading. I did early on. Thanks, Can Punk, for dropping the links, homie. Would I use OBs, breakers, or swing failure patterns for scalping? Yeah, they work on all time frames. What people don't understand is all indicators are just a representation visually of time, price, and volume, right? And maybe some other data points. So if it works for you, if looking at that shit helps you denote the trend, fucking go for it, right? So it looks like the plan is going to be playing out right now to the potential downside here. We've got the pretty swift rejection off of the range high, right? And right now, this is looking like a deviation. So if we lose this swing low, okay, I'm looking to long down here, like something like this. Something between like 33 to 35K, I think, is where I would want to look to get long on Bitcoin here. Quick dip below the EQ and a move down. So we'll have to see if that's still too early to tell. You have to remember, right? As much as everyone's like the doom candle, Goblin Town, right? That's what everyone said here too. And what did we do? We came into the 12-hour order block and we bounced, right? So we're into a 12-hour order block right now. So we have to assume that for now, this might hold, right? The only difference I see here and why I think that this more than likely does something like this, right? Like maybe like this, is because of this swing failure pattern at a key zone. The reason I like this SFP is because it is on the H12 chart and it is at a key level, right? But overall, this is nothing to freak out about yet, right? This is the area that the bulls need to hold if they want this trend to continue, is right here. Okay, lose this, then we're looking to long here. Lose this, everyone freaks out, everyone starts calling for 30K. Mayne and the homies get super duper long, and we ride this to 46,000. Right? Because this was a big short squeeze on the way up here as well, right? So I would not be surprised to see some of this unwind. All right, is everyone on the same page? Everyone think that, I hope everything's making sense here, guys. Mayne, how come Rookie posts your stream but hasn't joined you in one yet? I don't think Rookie likes doing videos. Rookie is a good friend of mine. And if he wanted to join a video at any point, he is more than welcome to, and I would love to have him. Mayne, you don't use VPVR? That's the only useful indicator. Can you even call it that? I don't use VPVR. I think that stands for like volume price something, volume weighted price average. What is it? VPVR, visible range. Right, so this will just tell you where was the majority within this range here that you can see on the chart. Where was the majority of the volume traded? Oh, look, right at the range lows. Where has Mayne been telling you guys to long for the last 3 months? Near the range lows, right? You can also do fixed, like fixed range volume. I think this. So with this one, you pick the trading range. You could say, okay, from here to here, where was the most volume traded, right? We can zoom in. So some people will use this as a sign, being like, okay, within this price swing, the majority of the volume was traded here. So when we got back above this level, boom, you know, there's your signal that this is going to go up to the other side of the range and fill in some of these low volume nodes, right? This is just not, I know like the basics of a lot of these things. I am by no means an expert with this shit. But the problem with trading that so many people have is there's always a new indicator. There's always a new technique. You see someone doing something and they're crushing it. So you're like, I'm going to try and do that. And then all of a sudden someone's using a new indicator and they're doing really well. And you're like, I'm going to try that. What you don't realize is most people who use these indicators very well, you know, guys who are using footprint charts, guys who are using, you know, volume, VPVR and fixed range volume, guys who are using all these different things that you see, they've been doing it consistently for thousands of hours, right? And you just being like, it's like you shooting basketball with your right hand for your entire life, and then you see someone hit a left hand one and he's hitting all his shots and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna try that. You don't realize he's made 10,000 hours worth of shots with his left hand. And if he were to just try and switch to his right hand, it just doesn't work like that, right? Find what works for you and then stick with it. There's no problem, an issue with trying other things and adding to your arsenal, but you need to put in a significant amount of time in the style of trading that you want to do so you get comfortable in seeing the patterns and seeing the setups form and shit like that. If you're trying the new flavor of the week every other day, you're never going to improve, right? You don't want to be the jack of all trades, master of none. Right? You want to master your one thing. And for me, it's price action. It's what works for me. It's what I've used for years. So why would I add in things when I don't need to? I already make money doing it how I do it, right? So let's wait and see here. We've got the weekly close coming up in about 26 minutes. So let's see what price does here. We've got that SFP, that is formed right at the high, okay? So if we get some sort of setup where it pulls back up here and there's any sort of weakness here, I would take a short. The only way I would short this thing right now is probably something like this, right? And then trade that down, take some off here, take the rest off here. Or if we, oops, I want that line back. Or if we just continue to, sell off here, a breakdown of this key high time frame low, because that's that 12-hour low. Okay, so I think I've explained Bitcoin to death. I've also done a ton of ranting. So let's take a look at Ethereum. Okay. I know, I gotta stop vaping, man. It's such a bad habit. Please help me quit, guys. Hold me accountable and call me out every time I fucking hit the vape, because I need to stop. Okay, we're gonna look at Ethereum now, guys. Thank you for the kind message, Barry and Toss. That's very nice of you to say. Okay, so I want to talk about Ethereum right now. Actually, I'll give you a real quick. So Bitcoin, we just covered everything, right? If Bitcoin breaks up, so whether it does this first or it just breaks up from here, right? This is where you need to be super cautious if you're a bull, right? Into here and into here, okay? Could it go higher? Sure, but this is kind of your area, right? This is the point of the breakdown, right? And this is the floor of this entire distribution. So if we are to push up more here, whether we dip or not first is irrelevant. This is where you need to be careful, because this is where we could put in a lower high, right? Could come all the way up in here, lower high, and then trade lower. So that's where you need to be careful on the high time frame, right? This is a decent looking rounding up structure for now, but just remember, right? Where is that lower high? That's the 50 right there, this entire range. So any sort of move up here, right? And if it rejects and got back below there, I'd be concerned that this is a lower high. But until then, we can play longs up here. We can play alts up here. We can have a whole big fun bull party. But you just need to be aware of what's above us, right? Just because this looks bullish, right? This could just be this before another leg down. People seem to forget that the market can rally in the bear market. People have very, very short memories, very short attention spans, right? Every single one of these pounces, people were calling for a reversal. Every single one. I'm not saying that we're going to do this. I'm not saying that. I would much rather it just does that, obviously. I'm just saying people always forget. It's very easy to forget, oh my God, we rallied like 100%, right? The bull market is back on. These bear market rallies, if this is a bear market, 50%, right? They can be huge, and you can forget just that the trend is actually down, and these are just kind of pullbacks in a downtrend, all right? So just be careful is all I'm saying. I would love for us to fucking trade back up and just go straight back to all-time highs, but this is an area up here. If we start getting really crazy, this is where we be very careful up in this range. Okay, so that's my high time frame, just kind of view. All right, so we're gonna look at Ethereum now. Part of what I think is interesting about Ethereum, especially right now, is just all the hype around NFTs. So I am an admitted crypto boomer. I do not get NFTs at all. Like, I know what they are, I know how they work, I understand the argument. Like, I understand the scarcity argument, being like, listen, dude, you own this punk. There's only one that is exactly like this, and it has a mask and a cigarette and a earring and a pirate beard or whatever, and that makes it more rare than this punk, and you own that thing. I look at it and I say, that is a stupid 8-bit drawing. Why would I pay so much for it? But I also have that same opinion with art. And that doesn't change the fact that you could buy a Warhol, a Marilyn Monroe signed one-of-a-kind Warhol, and then sell it a few years later for more money. So I get, as much as I like think it's dumb, like I get it, and there is a market for that. So I don't think you want to underestimate the hype on NFTs. Do I think punks are dumb? Yes. Do I want one? No. Am I probably going to buy one? Yes, because I'm feeling FOMO because all my friends have them. Would I buy one right now? Probably not. Based on how much I'm seeing people post about punks and these apes and shit over the last couple of days is kind of nuts to me. And I think it's like anything. I think it's going to have cycles where it's crazy and then not so crazy and crazy and then not so crazy. But as long as it keeps going up, right, you can make money or you can just be a hodler. It's just another market. It's just another chart. But, you know, like I see Keyboard Monkey absolutely crushing it, but bought one like 2 days ago, sold it for $1 million more the next day. To me, that doesn't sound like something that is at the bottom. You know what I mean? We have like... punks selling for fucking millions. In the last 7 days, $88 million in punks have transacted hands, right? Meebits, like 3 millions. You know, so I mean, I get it, kind of like, and I would not underestimate the hype. I do think there is a bit of a correlation here with ETH going crazy and with punks going crazy. But with how many people are talking about it and how much money is being made, I don't know how liquid these things are. I don't know enough about them to give you guys an expert opinion. I'm just kind of talking out loud about what I kind of think. And I think it's kind of nuts. I do think that with Ethereum going nuts over the last couple of days, Bitcoin going nuts, and then punks are going nuts, you know, maybe there is going to be a situation where if Ethereum pulls back, is your punk now less valuable, right? Like maybe it's still worth 800 ETH, but what if 800 ETH is now worth 20% less than it was when you bought it, right? Like, did you make money? Did you lose money? It's like valuing your portfolio in sats versus dollars, kind of. So I'm not fighting the trend. I think I'm way too late to buy a punk right now. Like, I think the cheapest punk is like $80,000 or something crazy like that. And I'm not spending $80,000 on a JPEG. I had an opportunity to buy one when they were like 20 grand. I probably should have. It is what it fucking is. I don't know if the top is in. I don't know if I don't know what the bottom looks like or how that even works, how liquid they are. I just do think that there's a ton of hype around them right now, along with Ethereum pumping, along with EIP 1559 coming. So I think the value in NFTs is not going to be in digital collectibles. I think that will absolutely be part of the NFT landscape in the future. But I think there's a ton of really cool business applications that will be built around NFT technology. And I think the collectibles will be just that. They'll be a collectible thing. And there's always going to be a market for that. That's why, that's why I spent stupid money on fucking Pokemon cards, because it's nostalgic for me. And some kid who's 20 is going to have a digital one instead, right? And he might hold it forever. Who knows, right? I didn't buy those Pokemon cards to make money. If someone offered me a ridiculous sum, I'd probably sell them. But I bought those for the nostalgia and to be like, I own this card. This is mine. And this is something from my childhood, right? So I get it with baseball cards and shit. So I get that aspect of it. I just can't wrap my head around the price right now and the level of hype that is going on with some of these punks where it's like this one's 10 million, but this one that to me looks the same is 80 million. I mean, I guess there's rarer pieces to it. I don't know. So not my cup of tea, but I do think that you need to pay attention to punks and things like that because they are based around Ethereum, right? And when Ethereum crashed, a lot of NFTs crashed too. So if you're in that NFT space and you're looking to get involved into an ape or a punk or whatever, a pullback on Ethereum might be the juice that you need to maybe get into some of these things cheaper because maybe someone freaks out and they need liquidity now and they need to sell some shit. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's look at Ethereum itself. We've got EIP 1559 happening this week. I believe it's on August 4th. I don't need to be a rocket scientist. I don't need fucking, a moving average to tell me that this move needs to cool off, right? Even if it's just one down candle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down candle, and then continued higher, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiny down candle, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, this is getting a little crazy. So I would not be surprised if we see a candle like this on Ethereum. I'm still leaning towards Ethereum eventually trading towards the range high here. I'm just hoping we get a little bit of a pullback before that happens so I can get long. Ethereum effectively printed the exact same fucking move as Bitcoin at the range lows. Ethereum was even cleaner, right? So this was our Ethereum range. It's been our range forever. 1, 2, third test, and it's gone. Gave us a little tiny, I don't even know if it closed below, but I should have just bought the range low. I've been telling you guys for 3 months to buy near the range low. I bought here, but I was too much of a pussy to buy here. But the exact same setup formed on Ethereum that formed on Bitcoin. We had a breaker here, right? Here's your key swing low. There's the up candle that drove price below. We got back above. Now you're looking for longs on Ethereum. Exact same logic as on Bitcoin. Here is the swing high that made the most recent low. We now have a trend shift to the upside. So you need to be looking to get long Ethereum at this point based on the 12-hour chart. I did personally take a long on Ethereum here. And I posted this on Twitter. I posted it in Discord. I said, once we get above the quarterly open and above the EQ, I think you want a long Ethereum towards the range high. I was long about $700,000 worth of Ethereum from 2380. So like right up here. And I closed it at like 2400 because I just wasn't I was going out that night for a friend's birthday. I didn't love my entry and I wasn't going to be monitoring the trade and I was just not in the right mindset. And I ended up coming back the next day and I would have been up a ton of money. And it's annoying to think about, but something I've learned over the years is you got to fucking phase it out, right? You got to move on to the next trade. You cannot let that shit linger because it will absolutely fuck you up because now I might miss another trade or take some stupid revenge trade because I'm like, I should have fucking cashed out. I should have held that trade and I should have, could have, would have, right? You cannot think like that because it will negatively affect your future trades, right? You just got to move on, move the fuck on. So what do we have forming here on Ethereum? So nice little consolidation at the EQ of the range above the quarterly open. This should have been a long trigger for me. Either of these closes. Close through here, pull back, close through here, pull back. You can zoom in on the low time frame, right? And you could have gotten an entry here, right? This is what I mean. If I'm bullish on Ethereum, I want to be looking for longs here, right? What are long signals? Well, breakers, order blocks, swing failure patterns. Here is your breaker play right here. There's your up candle, below the low, reclaim, boom, near a key level. That's why it works. Here's your order block play. There's your order block right there, right? Move up, break market structure, pull back to the order block, confluent with high time frame support, boom, right? Even on the lower time frame here, there's going to be a swing failure pattern trade, probably right within this little range here. Let's see if we can go find it. Right there. Right? Swing failure pattern. Stop below the low. Never gets run. Right? Swing failure pattern. Stop below the low. Never gets run. Right? So this is what I mean. First step, high time frame. Where am I looking to get in longs? I'm looking to get in longs here. I'm looking to get in longs here. There's nothing for me here. Are there long setups there? Yes, but those are not my key areas of interest. I'm sticking to my rules, which was this was where I wanted to get long, or I want to get long on a flip of this. So those setups that I just showed you were all within this area, right? So first step, right? Find the key SR where you want to do business. Second step, wait, right? Third step, zoom in. Fourth step, setups, right? Which are your OBs, your breakers, right? OBs, SFPs, breakers, all that shit. All that shit happens after this. So people are always like, is this an OB? Is that an OB? Like the most common DM I get, is this an OB? Is that an OB? It's like, what is the context, right? This is context. Once you have context, then you focus on this shit, okay? So Ethereum obviously looking extended to the upside here. We have a big news announcement coming in 3 days, in 2-3 days. So I would not be surprised to see some fuckery. So this is going to be our key level on Ethereum to watch. We've just swing failured a key high, okay? So looking on the lower time frame here, if I were going to short Ethereum, I think I would be looking to play. Sorry, excuse me. I would be looking for some sort of breakdown here. Okay, so a trade below here, and then a pullback, and then a rejection. And then that's got to be your stop for now. So the stop is pretty loose. So maybe there's something on the lower time frame that might be a little bit more palatable. You could argue that this is your short right now. You could argue that this is essentially your short right here. Let's see if we get filled. Okay, and then I would target all the way down to here. I don't love this trade that much because the stop is so far, right? I would much rather get in closer to here, right? Maybe this does this. I would much rather short here, but the bottom line is the bear idea is wrong above that high, right? The bear idea is wrong above that high for now. So we've got to wait and see. I wouldn't personally take a short on this yet. If you shorted the SFP yourself, great. This candle hasn't even confirmed yet as an SFP. In 7 minutes, it's a confirmed SFP, and you could technically be looking for shorts. Exact same plan as on Bitcoin here. If this confirms as an SFP, you could look for a short. I'd be looking to short into here, and then I'd be looking for a higher low to form somewhere in this area. I would do the exact same thing as I did on Bitcoin. I would take my fib, pull it. I don't know why that is my default fib. I did not want that. Right, somewhere around the 50, that lines up with the quarterly open. I think a deeper pullback towards like 2K, right? I would love that. I don't know if we get that lucky, but if we do, I'm looking to load up the bags. So the 50 line is right around the quarterly open. 2K, which is a key SR for Ethereum, is a very deep pullback. I'm not sure if we get that. If you look at the 2K level, right? $20,000. I'm just predicting the future. If you look at the 2K level, obviously a very key level for Ethereum, right? Top became support, 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 resistance, support, resistance, support. So if we come back here, I think you long it. I don't know if we get a pullback that deep. And the answer for that question is going to lie within Ethereum USD. Or BTC, excuse me. So if you watched that altcoin video that I spent a bunch of time preparing, and I would appreciate if you watched it more than once. So I would love for that video to become my most viewed video. I think it's almost at 4,000 views. My most viewed video ever is actually an interview with ICT, and it got 12,000 views. So I would love if that became my most viewed video, but I don't know. I think what's much more likely on Ethereum is a shallower pullback to here. Right? But I am prepared for a deeper one. So let's see how this candle closes. Anything like this or anything deeper, maybe all the way down to 2,000, right? We're looking to long Ethereum into the range high. The target is the range high. Any sort of bearishness is short term with a target of here first, and it's wrong above this high. Okay? And so if you watch that video that I showed you guys, that I made for you guys, excuse me, I talk about the correlation between Ethereum BTC and Ethereum USD and BTC USD and how it's a fraction. Ethereum is up 1.6%. Bitcoin is down 3.3%. Why? Because Ethereum BTC is pushing up. So if this pushes up and makes more bullish market structure, right? What does that mean? Well, let's assume that Bitcoin does go up, right? It might go up 5% and Ethereum might go up 20%. And it makes sense because, as you can see, just relative to the range, we're already at the range high. Ethereum just broke the mid-range and is now catching up. So Ethereum's been the laggard. And that's because this has been putting in lower highs and lower highs and lower highs. So for the last couple of days, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin. You can see that in the charts. Ethereum USD is outperforming Bitcoin. Doesn't mean if Bitcoin isn't going up, but there are periods of divergences. And that whole video is explaining how you can use the ratio to time. Do I want a long ETH? Do I want a long Bitcoin? If we're going to have a big rally here for a few weeks, where do I want to have my spot allocation? More Bitcoin, more Ethereum. So this is the chart that you're going to want to focus on. And it looks like right now it wants to break out. You have to be careful because I'm not a trend line guy. Why am I not a trend line guy? Because trend lines can be retrofitted to kind of fit your narrative. Well, what if the trend line's here, right? Now it hasn't broken, but according to this trend line, we're already broken out. So I much prefer to look at market structure, right? And right now we made a lower low here, right? But then we had a nice rally back up, and now we're attempting to put in a higher high. So if we get above here on a closing basis in the next 2 minutes, that would be officially a higher high. And then we could potentially see Ethereum BTC go up. Now, this and this could both go down. Bitcoin could go to 35, 34K, and Ethereum could go to 2,200, right? But if this moves up, that means that Ethereum is going down less than Bitcoin. Okay, so that would mean that if you're shorting one of the two, you wanted to short Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy the dip, you're going to want to buy the dip on Ethereum. Okay, that's what that entire video was about. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. But yeah, Ethereum BTC, interesting area right here. This kind of looks like it's just lower highs and lower lows, right? But it could be potentially trying to shift the trend right now. And if it does that, it's going to start like this and then maybe a move up, right? And then this could be a lower high, right? And then your trend line's like this. Like, that's why I don't use trend lines. But we're going to watch market structure. So we have literally like a few seconds here to the close. So let's just see. Just watch this in fucking hyper speed. Looks like it closed as a swing failure pattern. So technically, no higher high on the daily. No higher high on the weekly. That is interesting. So no higher high. SFP for now. So if this just rolls from here, right? We'll see. Yet to be seen. Too early. Gotta let some price action play out. You don't need to enter a trade immediately because the daily closed or the weekly closed, right? So no higher high technically on FBTC for me. I wonder, is very close. So I wonder on other exchanges if it closed through. See, this is what's annoying. So it did make a higher high on, did it? Yeah, it made a higher high on Binance though. So, I don't know. Too close for me to call. And too close for me to make a decision. I need to let more price action unfold before I make a decision. But I think we've got a pretty clear potential top here, just short term on Bitcoin. Let's see how the first few hours of this new trading week play out. I generally don't enter a ton of trades on Sunday night. I like to see price move a bit before we start making decisions. Ethereum officially closed as a swing failure pattern on the USD pair. So we have a plan. So we've covered Bitcoin, long scenarios, longing the breakout. I'm just going to do a quick overview, right? If we just remember, this is support here. So if we just push back up here, we're looking to long into there, okay? Low time frame. You could technically long Bitcoin right now, right? You could long it right now based off of it retesting this 12-hour order block. So you could long it here, your stop would go here, your target is up there. Right? You could do something like this. I'm not taking this personally, but technically this is a valid long. We're in an uptrend. It's retesting support. You could long this right now. Not going to do it personally, but that is available to you. What I would rather see is either consolidation here and then a low run or something like that. Then I can have a tighter risk reward to get along, or a swing failure pattern of this low would be how I would like to long down here personally. Okay. The breakout long, right? If we get back above here and start trading, putting in bullish market structure, right? Bears are wrong up there. You get long there. The short scenario is if we pull back here and then we reject from this level, right? You could get short. Stop is up there. We're targeting into here. Ideally, for me, I want to long Bitcoin somewhere at or below the quarterly open if possible. Okay, so I want that big pullback, right? Break the trend line, deep pullback into here. Everyone freak out. Mayne gets gig along with the boys. That's my ideal situation. But I've given you guys a bunch of different ideas. However you want to do it is up to you. Ethereum, it's the exact same idea. We have our SFP now. So technically, if we get a breakdown here, a pullback could be a short. It needs to break market structure first before I'm interested on at least on the hourly, right? It needs to break that low. If you go down to like the 15-minute or something, technically, it's already giving you that bearish market structure. I don't like that. So technically on the 15-minute, your short entry could be right now with your stop up there. I think I would rather see it come run this high or something, or like back up to this level. But technically, you could short it here down into here. Breakout play is the same on Ethereum, right? If we get back above here, start consolidating, I think you long it to the range high. And if we get the dip, I think you buy the dip. Where does the dip go? The first area where I'm looking for it to get support is right around here. The bigger dip would be to around 2K. I don't know if we come all the way back down here. That might be too generous, but definitely down around here, I'd be looking for longs. All right, guys. So I'm gonna just read through the chat here. Getting blown the fuck up. Clearly you're bullish on collared shirts. I bought a bunch of like fucking collared shirts for summer. You know, I feel like it's that wavy collared shirt, fucking high like inseam short summer. I don't know. All right. For me, I consider a market structure close on a candle body close, not a wick. Isn't closing over the weekly 21 EMA bullish for Bitcoin historically? That's not something I track, so I couldn't tell you. How much leverage do I use on average? Not a lot. I say this all the time, guys. Leverage is irrelevant. All that leverage does is it allows you to reduce counterparty risk, and it also allows you to deploy your capital more effectively. It does not change anything. If you want to open a $100,000 position and you have $50,000 on the exchange, you could use 2x leverage, right? To then open a position bigger than the amount of money that you have on the exchange. But it just changes how much margin you have to put up for the position. It doesn't make you make more money. It's not anything like that. Using leverage is extremely dangerous, and most really good traders and big traders on CT, I'm telling you, none of them use more than like 2 to 3x because they don't need to. Using 10x leverage is crazy, right? If you only have 10K on the exchange, why are you opening up a 100K position, right? You shouldn't be. If price moves against you 10%, you've liquidated your entire account, right? So leverage is very dangerous. Do not use it if you don't understand it, right? Just modify your position size, use stops, and make sure that if you're stopped out, you're only losing that predetermined 1, 2, 3, whatever percent of your account that you're willing to risk on that trade. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, man. XPX going crazy. All right, we'll take a look. See, what the fuckers did on all of these fucking coins, right, is they took it just below where you want to buy, right? Just below where you want to buy. You're like, okay, it holds here. They took it lower, and then boom, they pushed it up. So if I had to guess, this is pumping, right? There's your answer. I don't even see, where did I get this level from? Pico low from Trader Mayne, but I never check these fucking charts because I'm an idiot. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is pushing up. A lot of alts printed the exact same bottom, right? Everything did. Deviate, reclaim, move. So if you can go find an altcoin that is still here, you might be able to find a laggard, right? All of them did the same thing, right? They all did this. This is just starting to catch up. A lot of them are maybe there's still some of them that are early on, and you can find some laggards. But yeah, this is just up a cool 83% off the low. And that's what other people don't realize, right? Is like, okay, it's up 80%. That is sick. That is awesome. Just remember, if you bought anywhere near the top, you're still down fucking huge. Okay? So people don't understand the math of altcoins very well. BTC touched the 50% of the bullish OB. So this is a trick that I used to post on Twitter all the time. I would mark off the middle of OBs and no one understood why. Not quite on mine, but maybe on your exchange. The idea is if it's holding above the 50%, better chance the order block is going to hold. That's a little secret Mayne alpha that I don't share with a lot of people. Only the OGs know it. What do you think about Into the Cryptoverse ideas and theories? I don't know who that is. Is that someone on Twitter? Good night, Democryptus. Did I get net reduction surgery? Not yet. If you guys liked and subscribed my videos and helped me get 100K subs on YouTube, I will be able to afford it. I mean, if you leveraged long 29K and still holding, would you have TP'd or hold? I mean, listen, pay yourself. Look at this move. If you caught a 40% move into high time frame resistance, you should at least pay yourself something, because what happens if we do this? Are you not going to be super pissed that you round tripped a bunch of those profits? So I'd definitely take some money off the table, right? Because if it goes to 45, you still got a moon bag. And if it dips, you now have extra ammo so you can buy more. And if it breaks out, you can buy back, right? You don't have to think in absolutes like, oh, I longed here, therefore I have to hold to here, right? Pay yourself on the way for sure. How long do you hold your trades, generally speaking? I'm like not a scalper, but I'm more of like an intraday kind of lower term swing trader. So anywhere from 1 hour to 1 week. Mayne, can you explain why the confirmed weekly bearish SFP for you is irrelevant? I never said it was irrelevant. That is a weekly bearish swing failure pattern. I don't think that's irrelevant at all. Right? Look what happened here. We had this bullish weekly swing failure pattern, right? We came all the way into it, way back here, and then got the reaction. So what does that mean? We could see, right? We could see price trade back into this. I mean, this level is in line with that high that I had anyway. So yeah, this is absolutely a relevant level. Pay attention to it. But it's essentially the level I have here already. Any tips on growing a small account like 5 to 600 USD? The exact same way you grow a big account. Nothing changes, right? If I'm risking 1 to 3% of my account, the amount of money that is irrelevant. It's 1 to 3%. That's how you're going to be able to get the confidence to size up, because 1% of $1,000, right, versus 1% of 100,000 is a big difference. But if you know your system and you've been risking 1% the entire way, it doesn't matter when that 1% becomes a very significant number. It's just 1% of the account. You're going to have trouble sizing up if you focus on how much you're risking in dollars versus as a percentage of your account. If you can't grow a small account, what makes you think you can grow a big account, you know? How do you properly size a trade? Where your stop is. This is my entry. I want to size the trade with my position size. This is why leverage is irrelevant, where if price goes here, I lose 1 to 3% of my account, or whatever you want to use. Sometimes I risk up to 5, but that's what you want to do. All right. Man, don't lie, you guys all used heavy leverage before. Of course we used heavy leverage before. I used a ton of heavier leverage early in the cycle, and when I had no money and I was degenerately gambling. But the most money that I've made in trading has just been a function of being around for a long time and buying spot early in the cycle and selling it for 10, 20x what I paid for it 6 to 12 months later. And most of the big guys now are not ripping 50 or 100x, I promise. Do you measure your net worth in BTC or USD? Depends if you're a bull, and it depends if we're in a bull market or a bear market. No, I do not have a punk. Hey, I often have the problem where I don't let setups play out. Every time I get to the first take profit, I close most of my position, often earning less at it. I have no faith in my setups. Do I have any advice? Grow some balls, man. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, if you're putting in a setup and you're entering here and your take profit is there, why are you exiting before your take profit? Like, when I first started trading, my rule was once I entered, the only way to get out was either at my take profit or at my stop, because otherwise I would exit early, right? I talk about this all the fucking time. Your entrance is here, your stop is here, your take profit's here. It comes in here, it goes up like this, you go, oh shit, I'm gonna leave it on because it's going to the moon, and then you come back and it's down here. Well, now you've just round tripped a bunch of bullshit, right? Same shit here. It comes here, goes near your stop, you close it because you freak out, and then it does this, right? If your idea is wrong here and it's right here, don't fuck with it in between, right? Until you get more confident and you know what you're doing and you can manage your trades, then by all means. But initially, the less you manage it, the better. Maybe you're not putting your stops and take profits in the right place. If you're feeling like you always want to, you're exiting too early. Maybe you're exiting based on the 1 hour when your idea was based on the 12 hour, right? But take partials, leave a moon bag, adjust stops to break even. Those are some things you can do. Guys, I see a bunch of you, Samarth, stop spamming Luna, bro. When you spam the same thing over and over and over again, it makes me not want to read it, dude. Some people are putting in their question here just one time, and then I try and get to it, but then I see the same thing spammed like 50 times. I'm doing an altcoin series. I released an altcoin video. That's where I'm going to cover alts. These videos are going to be BTC and Ethereum primarily, and then Q&A. JC99, I don't know what your comment was, bro. I'm sorry. Send it again. How well do you sleep on week-long trades? It depends. I mean, if I have a really good entry, I sleep like a baby. If my entry is not great, I sleep like shit. Alright, Samarth, I am gonna fucking mute you, bro, if you keep spamming this shit. It's not fair to everyone else. Why do traders need to make money on videos when they trade? Like, what do you mean? Like, why do I monetize my YouTube? Is that what you're asking me? Or like, why are the videos sponsored? Trading involves me risking my money to make more money, right? So if I can trade and make money and then do videos, which I like doing, but someone is willing to pay me to do them and it doesn't cost my audience anything, I feel like it would be stupid to not accept that money. Do you think Kobe needs Up Only to be sponsored by Blockfolio? Of course not. But I bought a webcam, I bought green screen, I pay for an editor. Why not? If a company is willing to give me money and all I got to do is put their link in there and give them a shout out, how is that any different than Joe Rogan doing an ad read for his podcast? Like, he doesn't need the money. He's a hundred millionaire. He's got a contract from Spotify. Why is he reading me an ad about underwear? Because it's like, why wouldn't I have the money? Just because I make money, I'm not allowed to make money other ways? Like, that just seems ridiculous to me. Like, people have this misconception where, like, well, if you're such a good trader, why do you need to do it? Why do anything for free if you're good at it? And this is free. You guys aren't paying anything for this. This doesn't cost you any money. So I don't really get that whole argument. Like, if I'm a really sick guitar player and I'm in a band making a bunch of money, should I do guitar lessons for free just because I already make money fucking playing guitar in the band? Like, it just doesn't make any sense for me. It's risk-free money, and it's not even coming from you. It's coming from a company that is making money off of bad traders anyway. Like, I don't know. That whole argument is insane to me. I risk anywhere between 1 and 5% per trade. What is my Discord? The link is in the description of my bio. Mayne, are you in DeFi or just boomer crypto trading? I'm in a little bit of DeFi, mostly boomer crypto trading. I would love some tips on that. Todd says, if you can't grow account, make trade videos. Okay, Todd. Cool, man. Good talk. Like, people like Todd are just, little, small, angry people coming here, watching my video, give me a thumbs down. He's upset because no one cares what he has to say, and no one is willing to give him money to hear him talk. Sorry, bro. Tough luck. Can Punk, if you are in the chat still, bro, I need you to mute this Samarth guy. He's spamming the chat. Is there a difference between Bybit and FTX leverage? Well, no, you just have to set the leverage. Like, FTX, I think, sets it to like 10x automatically. You can set it, but there's isolated margin and then there's cross margin. Those are two different things. So any way to get your interface on TradingView? I literally just made, it's just colors, guys. It's nothing that special. What type of plan? Oh, I have like the maxed out TradingView, like the most expensive one. Sorry, Samarth, I gotta mute you, dude. Like, you were seriously fucking just spamming the same thing over and over again. It's super annoying. What do you think about Tyler Durden, aka Crypto Scarface? I think he's a good trader. We used to chat all the time. We're not as close as we used to be, but he's a good guy, and I think he's a good trader. No, I've not watched Benjamin Cowan's videos. No, I am not an ex-poker player. How's my baby Rune? Rune's doing a lot better than it was. Hasn't been hacked in a week. We're trading back above $6. Look at that fucking thievery right there, dude. Look at that shit. Just ran the low, fucking doubled in price. Read anal backwards. Nice try. Mayne, what up? Was 42 beat the top of Wade B? Jake, I don't know what makes you think I do Elliott Wave, or anything I've ever done made you think I know anything about Elliott Wave, my man. Is there no way to sub? I don't have subs set up on Twitch yet. It is something I'm working on. What are your triggers for stopping trading to keep your psychology, like stopping trade, force stop? So yeah, if I'm on like a bad beat, like if I like start off my day or my week or my session with like 3 or 4 wrong trades, yeah, sometimes I'll take a step back. But the idea of having a good system is you trust it that out of those 100 trades, there's going to be losing streaks, there's going to be winning streaks. So you know that you've got to keep going at the bat. Like, yeah, you can maybe reduce your risk a little bit, but I don't have a set rule where it's like, oh, I lost 5 trades in a row, and therefore I'm going to not take any more trades today. That's definitely something I know my friends who scalp a lot more will do. If they start their session with a couple losers, they end it for the day. I'm more of like, if I'm not in a good headspace mentally, I don't feel good, I don't feel healthy, I didn't sleep well, then I'm more likely to not take a trade as opposed to just getting shit wrong. Would I go on Joe Rogan if he asked? Of course. I'm not going to explain what fair value gaps are from ICT. I suggest you look up ICT's fair value gap video and you can learn from the source. I know I don't have to answer these questions, but I like chatting with you guys. This is fun for me. So I like to chat with you guys. What's up? Breast milk is the best milk. What the fuck? What a name. I like answering the questions, man. How much weight is there to the idea that BTC profits rotate into ETH, that historically when BTC is stalling and ETH is pumping as a precursor for a downswing? I mean, here's a perfect example of what you just said. BTC stalling, ETH ripping, that was the top of the market. So yeah, everyone fucking is again, that's like such a like common thing. Like, this isn't a paid group. Like, you know, I don't even have problems with paid groups. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Most of the stuff that I learned that is the most valuable in trading, I paid for. I paid for Trader SZ. I paid for Tom Dante. I paid for ICT. I paid for Simon Clute. I've paid for a ton of trading resources, because it's not that you can't learn stuff for free. There's a reason stuff costs money. Someone maybe has taken the time to compile information so you don't have to weed through a bunch of bullshit. Has some of the paid stuff I've paid for sucked? Absolutely. But I have no problem paying to try things, right? Like, if it's free, how good is it really, right? Value is scarce. But everyone is so concerned with what everyone else is making, and, well, this person is not a real trader because they do this, that, and the other thing. Why does no one talk shit to entrepreneurs? So it's like, oh, you've got a sweet business. Why do you also own real estate? I don't know, diversify my fucking income. Like, Todd, you're getting me fucking hyped up, bro. I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna give you one of these. And I'm gonna give you one of those. And that's the end of it. Do you have any tips for trading in a bear market for 2021 entrant? If this is a bear market, make sure to short the rips. And yeah, focus on stacking USD. What is my biggest win in USD? Nice try, IRS. Nice try. Okay, the chat is just kind of getting a little crazy right now, guys. So I think I'm gonna probably end it here in a little bit, guys, because Psycho, the homie, Altcoin Psycho, has just started up his stream, so I don't want to overlap too much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I feel like this was one that was full of a lot of alpha. There's a lot of good stuff in this one. We've got some very clear, definable, trade setups. So I think Nina, where do I live? Why are you asking, girl? Why are you asking? I think there's a lot of good stuff in here for you guys. Definitely rewatch this. We got long ideas, short ideas. We have some alpha. We have some life advice rants. We have just me yelling at Todd, So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I love you guys so much. I will be back this week with an altcoin video, so stay tuned for that. And fuck you, Todd. Suck my dick. And the rest of you, I love you. Please like the video, retweet it, share it with your friends, force your parents to watch it. I'm trying to, take over YouTube. Fuck BitBoy. We're taking over the top spot on crypto YouTube. I'll talk to you guys all on Twitter.